The next addition is an exit icon. Users can press on it and exit from the application. This functionality is only accessible for the Android. The way Apple does it, or prefers to do it, is when user presses home button, then application goes to the background, and after a certain type of an activity, it's going to be killed by the system. To access this functionality on Android, I'm going to be using BackHandler API. It has a method which is called exit app. Another thing I'm going to be using BackHandler is to prevent user getting out of the application by pressing back button. These are the docs for BackHandler that I'm looking at, and it describes on how to use this functionality. To use the icons in React Native application, I had to install an additional library. One interesting thing about this library is it doesn't always link properly, so this is one of those cases when I had to follow the steps and add something extra to Gradle. Certain libraries requiring to modify a Gradle file. Usually information is described on their doc page, or sometimes it can be found on community forums. In instructions it still says compile, but this is for old versions of React Native. In newer versions we're using implementation. After adding everything, it still didn't work, so I had to go and look through the issues, and it also told me to go ahead and add one more line at the very end of the Gradle file, and after that it worked. So I took the icon from that library and wrapped it with a touchable opacity so it can accept the user press. So for now, I set position of this icon as absolute, and constraints are set from the top and from the right. As a summary, to achieve functionality to exit from application, I'm using an API called BackHandler. Then I had to import new library, React Native Icons, so I can use the icon from it, and I had to wrap this icon with touchable opacity to make it pressable. And another thing I wanted to point out, the user can exit application by pressing a back button, and in order to prevent this functionality I have to add certain code and get the hardware press button and do not pass it to the system. It's also achieved by using BackHandler, and there is a description on BackHandler API how to do it. And now, if I rerun this application and will try to press back button, nothing will happen. And this is exactly what I wanted.